Hi, so this is my video on my Kundalini experience. I don't, when you say Kundalini experience, um, it's not a single moment. This has been a continuing experience for the last 6 years. And right now, so one of the things that is going on for me is a lot of emotional pain is coming out, and this has been going on for quite a while, and it's getting stronger and stronger. So, like right now, I'm really feeling it from 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 down here, just at the bottom of my ribs, all the way up to my throat, and it's just a heavy, thick, sad pain. So I'm just trying to open to it, breathe with it, and just and relax, and not to fight it, but to detach from it and just watch it and let it flow. But it's not pleasant. But I will talk about that in another video. So where did it all begin? So in my last video, I talked about experiences that I feel are connected to the awakening of Kundalini, but it really all started happening in my early 20s. Gosh, has it even been longer? I don't know. I must have been 24, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, maybe it's been longer than 6 years. I need to work that out. But I was in the video. I said, I was very depressed. So this was at the time I was really exploring politics and the way the world works in a macro sense, rather than the individual, and really feeling like I couldn't make change in the world. No one was listening, and I didn't really get over that until the classic saying, like, be the change you want to see in the world, and the only thing you can really change is yourself. So I went on antidepressants for 3 months, which helped, came off them and made it 10 times worse. What else can I do? So I found a mindfulness based stress reduction 8-week course. So I gave it a go. I found personally there was a lot of like guided meditations and things like that, and I struggle with guided meditations. So I went straight to just focusing on the breath, and it was a real struggle. Like, starting a meditation is really hard, and it probably took me 2 weeks of practicing 20 minutes a day to really start just overcoming the mind being like, I don't want to do this. So I was practicing it, going to the sessions, and God, it really helped. Like, I was working as a carer in the community at the time, and it was tough because you're understaffed, you've got time pressures, so driving around from place to place with a very limited time. So you've got half an hour to get an elderly person up out of bed, washed, dressed, medication, breakfast, set up with what they need, while also a lot of them are lonely, so it's trying to spend that time to connect with them a bit too, and the real reason you're doing that work is because you want to help them, and not feeling like you're able to do that. It's also really difficult, and going around and getting stressed because you've got to get to the next place, and traffic's really slow, and then there's like drivers that are really aggressive, and it just it was not very nice. And as this mindfulness and meditation continued, I found I got into a space where I could continue that calm feeling from meditation throughout my day. I sat in traffic and I was like, 2 weeks ago I would have been like, fuck it, come on, I need to get to this place, and really stressed out. And then I was like, just breathe, and just feeling really peaceful. Part of me feels really intrigued to almost wish I could go back to that state, because since Kundalini, I haven't really found that peace, and I think I might have disregarded how much of a significant change that was in my being. But yeah, you've got to let these things go. So that was all good, and I found the only real oddity in that was that I get a feeling on the crown of my head, which I for years attributed to thinking it was the crown chakra, but actually it's the bindu, which is interesting. I still don't know too much of the significance of that. I think tantric yoga attributes it to anti-aging and health and healing, and they talk about the drop of liquid that can be produced. Yeah, anyway, that's a separate thing. So yeah, and sometimes it really feel like in the UK we've got stinging nettles, which is a plant that stings you. I don't know if you got that in other countries. Yeah, sorry, I've got an alarm coming up on my phone. And I kind of questioned this to the teacher, and they just kind of didn't really give any answer. Just kind of fobbed me off. That was fine, and that was really good for months, and then I got out of the habit of meditating, and just went back to my normal routine for probably 6 months, and I was like, start getting stressed again and depressed, and I got to really start meditating again. So I sat down to meditate after not doing it for 6 months, and I sat there. And what I was doing, and I don't think this is really a technique for awakening Kundalini by itself, but I really lightly breathing in and really focusing on the sensation of the air coming in and out of my nostrils, but really slowly, really quiet, really calm. And then I just started bobbing up and down. No feeling of energy. I was just like, okay, this is odd. So continued with it for a bit, and it started getting more and more throughout the meditation. Still, I was like really bouncing up and down, and then like, man, the head's going and losing control of my body. What the hell is going on? Yeah, so I spoke to my partner, and she was like, this is weird, stop, like it was freaking her out. So I stopped, because I was like, what the hell is going on? And then got out of the habit, and the depression continued, the getting stressed out and stuff. So I went back to it again. Same thing happened, bouncing up and down, strange movements. I don't remember a feeling of energy at that time. And it's quite interesting, even now, with Kriyas, that there's always now a constant feeling of energy in my body, and it's still not fully there. It's kind of going into my head, but there's a lot. It's quite stuck at the brain stem. Yeah, at the moment. So yeah, I need to meditate. I can't go on feeling depressed. So in the UK, there's a town called Glastonbury, which I live quite close to, and it's quite known as quite a spiritual place. The Glastonbury tour used to be a pilgrimage for monks, and I guess there's lots of different spiritual disciplines and philosophies. I think the Druids, I think New Age spirituality's kind of taken hold there. there's yoga, some oddities of I would even know what to describe they're doing at the moment. Spiritual sort of sects of, gosh, I don't know. And then other things like nurturing spaces. So, I did some Googling online and found out about Kundalini, which scared the hell out of me. Like, it's really dangerous. You can lose your mind and you're going to die. And, oh my God, I don't want this. And so, but like, what is this? There's so much information, it's kind of overwhelming. I rang a Kundalini yoga teacher and it's like, sorry, I don't know anything about Kundalini Awakenings. Yet you teach Kundalini yoga. How does that work? So I went to like different temples and spiritual places and explained what was happening to me, and everyone kind of just looked at me like, you're a fucking weirdo. What are you on about? No one knew, and really wasn't helpful. So it made me feel really more like lost and confused and scared. Stopped meditating again, and then I moved to Southwest Wales to start uni. Started uni later in life, and started meditating again. Same thing, but it's kind of stronger, And then there was times after meditating, it would go on for an hour where my body was just moving and I couldn't, control it. What the hell is happening? And then more of a sense of energy now. And there was a guy called Tim, my friend Tim, who was running. At the time, it was sort of like holistic. It was holistic therapies and a meditation group, I think. And I messaged to him because he was just this local person that seemed, connected spiritually, and kind of explained my situation. He was like, "Oh, come meet up with me and my wife and have a chat." So I did that, and turns out that Tim is still experiencing Kundalini, and knew a lot about it and really put my mind at ease, explaining the way the energies wanting to flow through the body and finding blocks, and creating these symptoms, and put my mind at ease. So we had a good chat, and I think Tim's very much of not wanting to give too much away, wanting you to find the answers for yourself. I don't know if you're watching this, Tim. I might be wrong there, but I think that's the sense I get I think, and I firmly believe, we're all our own gurus, and spirituality is subjective and everyone's experience is subjective to a certain point. And I think you can be handed information on a plate, but it's where the experience is that is the key to continued development. So that's really when my understanding of Kundalini more continued. So that's gone on for, gosh, for a good like 4 or 5 years, and it slowly moved up my spine, and I can feel like where the blockage is, and I really struggled with the need to make progress, being really impatient. I want to be enlightened, and there's no rule book. I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing it right? Like overthinking everything, and that's really created a massive block for the energy to progress. Really getting stuck in the mind and trying to intellectualize the experience, and what does this mean, what does that mean, am I doing it right, am I doing it wrong, it's taken a long time to get over that. not realizing I've been posting, I'm stuck on this and stuck on that, and people made suggestions, but that was the problem. That was the problem. So I meditated on and off, and it's quite interesting because when I meditate, the energy continues and really ramps up, and it's always there with me. And I think there's been an anxiety, an ego thing of like, oh, I'm special. I've been chosen by the Kundalini, which is true, but I am like really lucky to experience this because this is what I want. I've always been seeking. I've been searching. When Harry Potter came out, and like I was, a kid, like young teenager maybe, in 12, 13. And I want to be a wizard. I want to be get into witchcraft, and I didn't know where to begin, and the internet really wasn't what it is these days. And I kind of think back, like I was always looking for that excitement, that mystery in life, that deeper connection, whether that was like looking at God and kind of analysing that, growing up like Christian, and in trying to find God, and then hating God because of the Christian principles, and like how can such awful things happen in the world and to the people I know, and fuck you sort of attitude. But it's to kind of step away. Like obviously I'm very grateful for this experience, but when it becomes a thing of like I'm special, it's a thing you've got to watch out for. But it was a fear when I'd stop, like a fear of like, oh no, has Kundalini gone away, because it would quieten down. And I kind of sit there quietly and no, there it is. There it is, it's still there. So periodically I would check and kind of, I don't know, focus internally, think of the Kundalini, and up it comes. But at the same time, when I'm not practicing, I got into a bit of a weird situation where practicing, meditation and working with the energy, it would be like overwhelming, and my mind's getting confused, and there's so much information, and intellectualizing it again, and then I'd stop, but then my mental health would deteriorate. I'd get back into bad habits, smoking, drinking, and then really that takes me to whoa. I just nudged the thing on my chair, so it made me drop. Right, yeah. So I was at uni. We were living in a van to save money, which was a cool experience. And getting back, like meditating, and I get a bliss come over me, and then bliss, and then a sadness, and it would mix, and then the sadness would kind of come in, and at the time I was still like overwhelming, intellectualizing, and what am I supposed to do? So I wasn't relaxing, and then I stopped for a while, and then recently, probably 8-9 months ago, I started again, and on and off. Over the last couple of years, like started, and then I kind of have a little epiphany, and then that would I'd progress a little bit, feel the energy moving more, and then I guess I'm still intellectualizing a little bit and reading loads of information, and my mind would be like, and then I'd have to stop, because I got to the point where I wasn't making any progress because my mind's taken over. And that happened a couple of times. And then I told myself, relax, 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 let go, surrender, accept, detach, surrender. And it's It's what I needed. Let it all go. What does this mean? What does that mean? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Am I going to hurt myself? Oh, let all that crap go. It's all in here. It's all the ego. So, I'll create another video, I think, on what's really helped me. It's really basic, really simple stuff that I've pulled together from different sources. I created a thing to remind myself, like an acronym, PADS, PADS, presence, being in the now, acceptance, accept this very moment, what's happening. Might be a really bad meditation where your mind's going and you keep getting drawn into your thoughts. That's okay, I accept that. Detach. Whatever comes up, whatever's happening, detach from it. Sit back, watch it, observe it, and surrender. Surrender to the energy. Sometimes that Kundalini's going crazy, and sometimes it like enters. Well, it is there. It is me. So it's like it enters me. It is me. It's part of the illusion that there is a me and the energy is a separate thing. But it's like I'm meditating and the energy rises. And I'm like in this detached but aware trance-like state almost. Like it's a different reality. And then my eyes will open and clears, and I'm looking around the room. But it's not me looking out my eyes. Dan isn't here. Dan is watching, but something else is experiencing my body, and that feels like you're possessed. It's kind of freaky. But so, you know, whether it's that or the energy's building up and up and up and up and up and up, and oh my god, it's so intense, and I feel like if I let it go, it's gonna explode my head into 1,000 pieces. Relax, let it go, let it flow. Just watch. And it's really interesting. The pressure's building, it's building, and then it's like a massive dam, and then poof, and it just goes really gently into my head, just like the gentlest energy, just loving and blissful. And your head's not gonna explode. Surrender, relax. So I've had a lot of interesting experiences from almost being in this trance-like state, and the energy's moving my body, and I'm having kriyas, and then like I'm having visions. It's only happened a couple of times, but like I'm in the jungle and I'm looking up through the canopy and seeing the sky, and there's a baby crying, and there's some like fear going on, and then I'm having like almost a fit on the floor with kriyas, like proper full body, and then there's a panther on my back and it's biting me in the back of the neck. I don't know what it means, and you don't need to know what it means. That was before I kind of learnt to relax into it. And another time, like, you know, almost like the eyes opening and something else is in your body, and I experienced like, I didn't experience it. My body, without my control, acted out pure terror, like you are about to die. Like there's this impending. It felt like, you know, a big rock was coming for me and they're just about to crush me. That, like, weird, bizarre experiences, or it's the energy can also be very of a sexual nature, and that's also a very interesting experience, and a bit like what am I supposed to do here? So it can be, yeah, lots of experiences. And where I'm at now is really relaxing, and the energy's stuck at the brainstem, and I'm getting lots of like headaches and tense, like in the tendons and muscles at the back of my, connecting to my skull and into my head, and the energy is flowing, and it almost feels at some points like it's going around and then back into the center. But at the moment it's kind of gone back to being stuck and splitting at the sides and kind of entering a bit, and the energy, the tingling sensation on the bindu area is has started back, and there's just a lot of sadness back from the van, this bliss entwined with sadness. It was just so subtle, and slowly the more I'm relaxing, it's coming up until it's like a deep, thick, all-consuming feeling in the center. So it's facing that, it's accepting that. Yeah, relaxing. So it's been interesting. I think a lot. I don't know if I'm rambling on far too much, or if this video is far too long for you, so I'm sorry if that's the case, or that this is interesting. Another part of my experience is from like the majority that I think you read or see people's experiences, it's like, yeah, I was doing whatever, and I had this massive Kundalini awakening where I pure ego death, and I didn't exist, and then I had like months and months or years of trying to integrate back into reality, and that's not my experience at all. It's, although very intense, very like messy, yeah, like experiences, it's also been very gentle on me. I've been able to study. I'm now working in a very stressful job, working with vulnerable people. I'm also on top studying full time, and a father and a husband. There's a lot, a lot that's needed from me, and I'm still able to do that, even though challenging at times with Kundalini. So I feel very blessed for that, and I've learned patience. Be patient. Yeah. So I think Kundalini awakenings and activations can be quite different, and people experience it in many different ways. So that's a bit about my experience. I don't know if it would be useful, but I think I'll do some videos on like on my interpretation of meditation and what's helped me. So I think like maybe try it. I'm not trying to be like a teacher in that sense, but this is just what's helped me. So take it with a pinch of salt, because what works for me might not work for you. But if you're interested, I'll do some videos on my pads technique, and I think I want to explore more now. Just doing a weekly update, so this relaxing and letting the energy go is still a challenge. I've probably been doing it properly, working on it for about 6 months, fully more like understanding that's what I need to do and seeing the benefits in that, and yeah, I'm so glad that I figured that out. So yeah, I think in managing this feeling right now, I know I'm feeling intuitively I don't do any exercise at all at the moment. Like I've tried getting into running twice and keep injuring myself, so yeah, I need to exercise, and I have a feeling that's going to help, but also just this relaxing. And it's really difficult to let it go. It's really difficult. You know, ego's like trying to defend you. This isn't pleasant, this isn't nice, this is pain, I want to stay away from this. So you've got to be very present all the time, because this is with me all the time. Not fighting it. So I think it's going to be a bit of a process, and not that easy, but it is moving. It's getting there. And also looking at, I've had a couple of non-dual experiences in that Dan and this world is illusion, and that I'm part of something bigger that's connected. And it's been very mild experiences, little glimpses, and that's part of, you know, this letting go and accepting. It is practicing being aware, constantly bringing myself back to the present moment, and stepping back from Dan and watching. At the same time, Dan is very important. Like, Dan, I'm of a spiritual nature, experiencing life as Dan, and although I feel it's good to understand the illusion of Dan's important, and he needs that validation that, you know, it's okay. It's okay to be Dan, and it's okay to experience pain, and that's fine. So that's what I want to like explore in kind of video diary updates. If you have any, there's been like a lot more experiences and stuff, but so if you do have any questions, like, yeah, I'm happy to answer them more. But yeah, maybe other people out there are having a more gradual, gentle awakening, and sometimes you do question, is this Kundalini? No, it's there all the time. It's just very gentle, and sometimes you think, am I a bit of a fraud for not having one of these mind-blowing energy shoots up your spine and out your head, and your whole reality changes. It can feel like that sometimes, but yeah. So I hope that maybe that's useful. That is not always that experience, and yeah, cool. I'm gonna end it there, I think. Cool. Well, thanks for watching, and take care.